Hello students, welcome to the video tutorial of informatics practices of class 11th. Today we'll be discussing the fourth part of the chapter Python fundamentals. So this is the last part students for this chapter. In the previous video tutorials we have discussed about some basic Python programmings, that how we can write some basic programs by taking the direct values of the particular variables, and also we have seen that how we can take the input from the users directly. Okay, that means one was the statement like we were using x is equals to 5 or x is equals to 7, and one way was taking it in the form like x is equals to int input, enter the value. Okay, so both the methods we have discussed. Today we'll be discussing them in details, and let's see how the Python used to interpret the values and how it stores the values. Okay, so first of all, let's move to the interactive mode of Python. Okay, and let's see some basic programs there, and then we'll be moving to the script mode, and then we'll be writing a script and we'll be saving it, and then we'll be seeing the complex programming. Okay, so let's begin. Here we are going to open the interactive mode. Okay, here's our interactive mode. Now suppose if we are writing the values like x is equals to 3, and then in the next line we are writing y is equals to 5. Okay, and if we are going to add it, okay, and let's see the value. So x plus y is going to give you 8. Okay, so this was very simple, as we have discussed in the previous programs also. Now let's try to find out something interesting. Suppose we write something like this: x is equals to 3, and in next line we are writing y is equals to 5. Then again in the next line we are writing x is equals to 2, and now we are trying to print, or we are trying to add x and y. Okay, now let's try to add x and y. Let's see the output. You are getting the output as 7, though in the first line you have given x is equals to 3, and in the third line you have given x is equals to 2. But what happened is Python just interpreted the code line by line. First it got the value x is equals to 3 and y is equals to 5 in the second line. Then as soon as it run the third line, it got x is equals to 2. So what it did, it removed the previous value of x is equals to 3 and stored the new value of x, that is x is equals to 2. Okay, and when you are going to print x plus y, so it is going to take the latest value of x. Okay, whatever the value which you have inputted at the last, it is going to take that value, and it has added it with the y value of 5, and then you have got the result as 7. Okay, so it depends that which line you have written first and which line you have written at the end. Okay, so whatever the latest update will be there with the interpreter, that only will be executed in the final result. Okay, now suppose if you are writing this like this: x is equals to 5 comma 3. Okay, and then in the next line you are writing y is equals to 2, and now if you are going to add x plus y, let's see what is the output. See, you are getting an error here, and the error is can only concatenate tuple, not into two tuple. Okay, so this may seem a new term to you because you have not studied about the tuple, and also you have studied about the data types only about the integer, not other data types. Okay, now let's try to find out what is the difference between them. Okay, now suppose if we write this line x is equals to 5, and then in the next line we are going to write this type of x. Okay, then you will get this output, class int. Okay, now this type keyword is used for understanding the data type of the variable. As you know that there are different type of data types like integers, string, okay, float is there for the decimals and all. So all those data types can be utilized in Python. Okay, and there was a problem in Python, we have discussed that it is not very strong on type binding. So whatever the data type you are going to give, it will accept it. Okay, but when you will try to perform an operation over it, then it will produce an error and it will inform you that this is the problem going on with the interpreter, and this is not able to add these two things. Similar thing happened here when you gave these two values to x is equals to 5 comma 3, and then gave y is equals to 2, and in the next line when you added these two variables, that is x and y, till now it was not having any error, but as soon as you are going to press enter after writing this line x plus y, it will show you an error, because now it is not able to concatenate a tuple to a integer. Okay, earlier when we have written this x is equals to 5, it was just accepting one integer at a time, but when you gave x is equals to 5 comma 3, actually it was not an integer, it was a tuple. As you can check here, see, suppose if you are writing x is equals to 5 comma 3, okay, and in the next line you are writing type of x. Okay, now see the output, it is written as class goes to tuple. So what happened is that it is not able to add a tuple with an integer. Okay, so you have to be very careful about these things, that whatever the data type you are entering, it should match with the second data type also. Okay, otherwise it will create a problem. Okay, now suppose if you would have written this x is equals to 3, and in the next line you have written y is equals to 5.5. okay, now see, x is equals to 3 is an integer variable. Okay, it is having an integer value, and y is equals to 5.5 is having a decimal value, that is a floating point value. Okay, in Python we are considering the decimal values as the floating point values. Okay, so these two are again different data types, but what is the problem here, that these two data types are actually the literals in the numeric form. Okay, you have studied about the string literals, you have studied about the numeric literals. So actually this float and the integer are the part of a same type of literal, that is the numeric literals. So this conversion is possible here. Okay, x is equals to 3 and y is equals to 5.5, these two can be added, and the final result will be in the form of the particular data type which is having the highest memory size. Okay, so since in float and integer the floating point values are greater than the values compared to the int, it is having more memory space, so it will be considering integer data type as a lesser uh, powerful variable as compared to the floating. Okay, so whatever the result will be produced in the form of the float. Okay, now let's try to find out. Suppose if you are writing x plus y, and if you are going to press enter, you will see the result as 8.5. so what it has done, it has taken the variables of different data types, that is integer data type and the float data type, and the result is produced in the float data type. Okay, I think you must have studied this carefully and you would have got what I was trying to tell you. Okay, now let's move towards the interactive mode, sorry, the script mode, and write some basic programmings there, and let's try to find out what are the values of these. Okay, so here we close this part. Okay, and then we are moving to ideally in the form of script mode. Okay, first of all this interactive mode will open, and then we will move to the part of script mode. Okay, so we'll go to the new file and we'll open the script mode here. Okay, here is our script mode. Let's save it first, though you can save it later also, but right now we are saving it in the beginning only. Moving to save as, write the name of the file as b.py. okay, and then select a particular location like desktop, save it there. Now the code is saved. Okay, whatever the code will be writing, it will be saved already, only just you have to press Ctrl plus S. Okay, because the location of the file is saved. So let's move and write some basic codes here. Now suppose, let's try to find out how the values of the Python is being interpreted by the interpreter. Suppose here we are writing x is equals to 40, and in the next line we are writing y is equals to x plus 1, and then if we write this x is equals to 20 comma y plus x, 20 comma y plus x, and finally if we are going to print these two variables, print x comma y. Now just let's try to find out what can be the value of this. Now suppose in the first line you have seen, you have written x is equals to 40, so it will store this 40 value as per the variable x. Okay, so variable x will be pointing to the variable to the number 40. Okay, y will be pointing to x plus 1. So in x you are already having 40, so y will be pointing to 40 plus 1, that is 41. Okay, and then in the next line you have written x is equals to 20 comma y plus x. Now here is the problem for x, it is storing two values, that is 20 and y plus x, and y plus x is actually y is equals to x plus 1 for the previous line, and x is still storing the same value which was stored in the first line. Okay, so the output should be, let's see what is the output first. You are getting 20 comma 81 and 41. Okay, now try to understand this, why you are getting this, because x is having two values. Okay, 20 comma y plus x, so x is actually storing a tuple here, as we have discussed in the previous part, that in the interactive mode when we were doing the coding, we wrote that x is equals to 2 comma 3, and then we tried to find out the type of the variable. Okay, so we got the variable type as class of tuple. Okay, but here again we are using the same concept, x is equals to 20 comma, but we are not directly given a value here, but instead of giving a value we have provided the variables, that is y and x, and we have added them. Okay, so actually the second value is actually from the variables of x and y addition. So what we are getting is x is equals to 20 comma y plus x, and x is 20 is directly the first value, and y plus x is the second value, that is the 40 plus x plus 1 is will be giving you the 41, and 40 plus 41 is 81. Okay, so the output was accordingly. Okay, so you can see the output once again, the output was 20 comma 81 and 41. So x is giving you two values, that is 20 comma 81, but actually it is a single value only because it is in the form of a tuple. So first variable, that is x, is giving you two values, 20 comma 81, and y is giving you a 41. Got it? Now let's move further. Suppose the code was written like this, we will just do some minor changes in the code. X is equals to 40, and here we will write x comma y is equals to 40 comma 41, suppose. Okay, and in the next line we are writing print x comma y. Okay, we have written two statement, first statement is x comma y is equals to 40 comma 41, and in the next line we have written print x comma y. Now let's save this code and run this. Let's see what is the output. You are getting the value as 40 comma 41. So it is not a problem here. Why? Because we have given two variables and we have given two values accordingly, and the values has been shown as per the variables. So it is known as the multiple assignments. At the same time you are assigning two variables two values. Okay, so the first value of x was having value as 40, and the second of variable, that is of y, it was having the value as 41. So 40 comma 41 is being printed accordingly. Okay, but now suppose if we write the code here, x comma y is equals to 40 comma x plus 1, we have removed this value from here, and in place of that value we have written a variable, that is x plus 1. Okay, now suppose if we are going to print it, what should be the output? Okay, now see here, the line x comma y is equals to 40 comma x plus 1, here x is directly getting a value, that is 40, but y is not going to get any value for it. Why? Because y has to be executed only after the line x is equals to 40 is executed. Okay, but since we are executing these two lines at the same time, so while initializing the variables to the values, the interpreter will be initializing x with 40, but when it will be trying to initialize y, it will not get any particular value because it has to be given earlier than this line, and since the value was not given, so it will create an error and let's try to find out what should be the error. Suppose you saved this code and we are going to press function F5, and when we are going to run it, see, we are getting an error, and the error is name x is not defined. And why this is error is there, as we have already discussed, that the line is to be interpreted first and then in the next line you can give the variable. Okay, but since you have gave the variables at the same time, y was not determined properly and the interpreter was not able to provide you a particular result. Okay, so you have to be very careful with this and you can change it accordingly. Suppose you have written x comma y is equals to 40 comma x plus 1, and this line is just swapped from here, it has been put here. Okay, and here we are writing y is equals to x plus 1, and now if we try to print it, let's first save the code, control plus s, and then we are going to run it. See, cannot unpack non-iterable int object. Okay, so what is happened is that it is not able to unpack non-iterable int object. Non-iterable means which cannot be iterated again. Okay, it is non-repeating value. So what you are trying to do actually, you have just given x comma y is equals to 40, and then in the next line you are writing y is equals to x plus 1. So in the first line what you have done, you have given two values, that is x and y, with the same pointer variable, that is 40, and in the next line you are writing y is equals to x plus 1. So what will happen, it will just pick up a value of x, and that is suppose 40. So y will be taking value as 40 and it will be adding 1 to it, it will become 41. But when you will try to print x comma y, it will be confused with the y value, that it should be printing 40 or it should be printing 41. Okay, so to cure this error you can write this line like this: x is equals to 40. Okay, and then in the next line you can write y is equals to 41, and then you have written x y is equals to x plus 1. Now save it and run the file, and see, now you are getting the output 40 comma 41. Why? Because now you have cured that particular problem which was there, that since both of the values were given at the same time, it was not able to understand which value is to be executed first and which is to be executed later on. Okay, so to remove that error, remove that part, we have just given these two variables in next two lines. Okay, and now it is able to identify it and it has produced a result. Okay, now let's try to do one more program like this. Suppose we have removed all these values from here, and what we have done is we have written x comma y comma x is equals to 5 comma 7 comma 8. Okay, and then in the next line we are going to print x comma y. Okay, and we saved this code, and when we are going to run it, you are getting the output 8 comma 7. Okay, so you must be thinking why these two output is only there, let's say, but we have given three values in the first line, x comma y comma x is equals to 5 comma 7 comma 8, but the output generated is only of two values. Okay, so why this problem is happening, because has to get only a single value for this. Okay, either it has to get for the first value, or it has to get the third value. Since we have written x comma y comma x is equals to 5 comma 7 comma 8, so first of all x will get a value of 5. Okay, y will get a value of 7. Now again in the next, means you have written x is equals to 8. Now it will get confused, the interpreter will get confused which value is to be chosen, whether you have to choose x is equals to 5 or you have to choose x is equals to 8. Okay, so that was the problem with this code, but what happened, it still gave you the output, and the output was 8 comma 7. That means the x is having the value 8 and y is having the value 7. So you can see here the latest value, as we have talked earlier also, the latest value of the interpreter is having the variable x as 8 and y as 7. So the output has been produced accordingly. So it doesn't depends that how you have given the values, whatever the value of the line is given at the end, okay, whatever the variable the is having the value, okay, the number which it is particularly having at that instant, that variable can only be printed. Okay, now suppose if we have to write a complex code, a bit of complex code, we are not using any looping here. Okay, so the loop part of the Python programming will be discussed in later on the chapters. Okay, so right now we are just having some simple programs only, a bit of complex program in that without using the looping programs. Okay, so now let's try to find out any particular program for that. Suppose that if a program is given to you, that you have to just find out the, suppose, cube root of a particular number. Okay, let's discuss about cube root also. So cube root, you know that it has to be taken out with the help of a particular formula. Okay, either the formula or any power if you can give. Now suppose for that particular thing, if we are writing x is equals to, again we can write this in the form of int. Okay, because whatever the value is there, you are going to give it in the form of integer. So int input, enter the number. Okay, this will store a number here first, and then in the next line you are writing, you have to close this bracket also here because only one bracket is closed, two brackets are open and two brackets has to be closed also. Okay, and in the next line you are writing y is equals to, and what should y have its value? So y should be having the cube root of the value. Okay, so you can directly form the cube root in this way, x, and this double asterisk is used for giving the powers. Okay, so whatever the power you want, you have to write it after the two asterisks, that is the two stars. Okay, so after writing these two asterisks, we have given 1 by 3. Okay, now we can write this statement, print, and then in the double quotes will write cube root of the number is, then comma, first close this double quotes. Okay, comma, and now the variable in which the value is stored. So the variable is y, you will write y here. Okay, then you will close this. Okay, so x is equals to int input, enter the number, will give you a particular number in which you will have to store a particular number, and y will provide you the cube root of that value. Let's save this code, control s, and then run this. Now it is asking for a number. Suppose we enter 27. Now see, the cube root of the number is 3.0. Okay, so it is able to identify the cube root of that particular value. Okay, now suppose for the another number, let's see what it is showing. Just check the code again. Let's take any other number. Suppose we know that the cube root of 64 will be 4. Okay, so let's try to find out. If you enter the number as 64, you will get the cube root of number is 3.99996. Okay, why this problem is there? Because 64 is actually having the cube root as 4 only, but the value which you are trying to give with the help of this particular instant is approximately equal to 4. So 1 by 3 is cannot be directly treated as a number there. Okay, 1 by 3 is actually a decimal number, so it will produce a result of 0.33333. So accordingly, with that power, it has produced a result like this. Okay, so you can check it with any other code also. Okay, so I think that's it for students today. We'll be meeting in the next video lecture. Till then, take care. Try to revise the programs and try to build your own programs with the help of these codes. Okay, in the next video lecture, we'll be starting our fifth chapter, that is the data handling. Okay, and the data handling will be discussing in details about the different data types and how the values are stored in Python, how to get a particular ID there. Okay, and then we'll be discussing about the mutability and immutability of the data types. Okay, so that is an important chapter. We have done some basic coding here. You can do whatever the code you want. Suppose if you have to calculate the volume of a cuboid, or calculate an area, or you have to take out the simple interest, compound interest. Okay, so all these basic programs which will need a single formula for it can be used with the help of this chapter. Okay, but from the next chapters we'll be discussing some complex coding part. Thank you, students.